My name is Steve Maslin from Tampa International Airport. I do the desktop support for the entire authority, and I've been with the authority about a year and a half, about a year with IT.
Debbie Bruce, I work at Tampa International Airport. I'm the server manager. I've been there for about 2 years. The biggest thing was Active Directory was kind of put together and nobody really knew what they were doing. So the group policies just kind of got thrown in there, and the desktop standards actually rebooted the servers, desktop group policies. They were set up and they would reboot the servers or prevent services from logging in, because somebody got the bright idea in the default domain policy to go in there and put in one service account to log in all the time.
In the desktop side, we're facing the problems with people being able to access things that they shouldn't be. We have issues with group policies not updating, multiple group policies being applied to the same OUs, the same group policy being applied multiple times to the same OU, and things like that.
I was hoping to get out of it a better understanding of what we could do on the desktop side that would get it away from the servers and get it off of the servers, but also some of the things that we can use on the server side, because we have spent an excessive amount of money on security. And a lot of that, if we would have had desktop standards or GPOs that enforce desktop standards, we could have avoided all of that. I think had we come to the class sooner, yes, we could have avoided buying a lot of unnecessary software and a lot of unnecessary security tools.
And saved a lot of time.
And saved a lot of time and saved a lot of user frustration, really,
Yes.
Customer frustration. We have one security software that was over $200,000 plus the servers, and nobody knows how to use it. And if we had just had good group policies on our desktops, we wouldn't have needed it.
We figured out that this class was probably the right class for us because when we received the notification about the class, we did some research into who was running the class and the background of the person running the class and the company involved. And we found out that the background matched what we were looking for. We needed somebody who was going to be able to teach us a lot about group policy and be able to hopefully fix some, well, not personally fix our problems, but show us how to fix our problems.
I think that we've already profited from coming to the class. We actually would go into our own network while we were here in class and apply some of the changes that we saw that we think will help, and we know they'll help. So even going through the class, if you learned something that you needed right then, you could go in with the VPN and get to your network and make the change, which we did on a couple of things. There's still a lot more for us to do. If somebody has questions about coming to the class, or somebody is questioning coming to the class just based on the money, I think this class outweighs anything else that I've been to this year. I was forced to go to a security class for logarithm, and I was a hostile student. I did not want to be there. This class, and that was kind of the leverage I used to get into this class. It was like, okay, if we're going to go learn how to track people after something happens, can you at least send me to something that will show us how to prevent things from happening before it happens?
I've learned in the class that we need to that there's different things that we can change, different settings that we can change in order to facilitate proper policy creations, and the value it's astronomical, because the time saved by hampering people from doing things that they shouldn't be doing or that we don't want them to do is going to save us a lot of time in the future from recovering from things like that. Everything was tested. Everything's been time tested. And the fact that maybe Jeremy is a one-man show or a two-man show wouldn't necessarily hamper me in the future from attending any of his seminars, because sometimes that's not a bad thing. Sometimes the companies that have the 2,500 trainers is where you run into the problems, because they're not all training the same way, and they're doing the same curriculum differently. and some of them don't have the same equipment. The labs aren't set up right. So I found that this one was pretty dead on.
And I think Steve and I are a little unique in we've both been or are Microsoft certified trainers. There's a big difference in coming to a class where somebody actually wrote the books on GPO and performs the training than somebody that sits there and gets a certification and has no idea what it did in the real world and then tries to go out and teach it. The only reason I did a Microsoft certification is because, or became the trainer, is because I had actually worked in the real world. And I think that makes a big difference, independent or not. It makes a huge difference in the training and the quality of the training.
The fact that we came together actually helped us a lot because during the class, after class, over lunch, dinner, breakfast, everything, we have discussed the different things that we've seen in the class and how we can apply it in our setting. And then in some cases, we've actually made those changes. We've had plenty of aha moments that we could do that. Why don't we do it right now? So we've definitely learned a lot by coming together. That way, I don't have to go back to the office and teach Debbie, or vice versa.
I also think that just from your brain, everybody has a different brain. He's going to retain something that I may not necessarily retain. I may retain something that he doesn't retain. But together, we have it all. I think we get more out of it.